and x cannot equal -1. Those are two asymptotes. There is a third asymptote. X can be 0. No? 0 is right, but it's not x. Yeah, go ahead. It is y cannot equal 0. Okay? That's always going to, put in brackets for this time. That's always going to be the case. Let me rephrase. Always in grade 11. Okay, that's going to be the case. Okay, in grade 12, you will get weird asymptotes, definitely. Okay, but in grade 11, that's all you're going to do.
Is there imaginary numbers in this?
Oh, yes, there is. It could even be in grade 11 if we have enough time. We can get to that. Okay, if we have enough time. I've taught it before in this course, but not in a few years as the snow goes. Okay, so at this point, we're going to draw the asymptotes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get out a piece of graph paper. Right, I'm going to use a digital piece of graph paper. You guys can use the real thing. And pause this video so I can figure out what's wrong with me. Yeah. Okay. If you're one of those people who just said to me, I heard some people saying, oh goodness. Please tell me I did this happen. Okay, if you're one of those people, I heard a few people whisper and say, oh no, I'm out of graph paper. Okay, we are like, this is our second unit, and every unit we graph, okay, so we should get a lot more graph paper if you don't have it yet. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start by drawing my asymptotes. I'm going to use a ruler, and I'm going to do a nice graph here. Oh, sorry. That's right, I keep tripping you, by the way. You keep tripping me. I'm going to draw a beautiful graph here. I'm going to use arrows. I'm going to label my numbers nicely. I'm going to do 0. It doesn't really matter your scale too much. Okay, so take the time that it takes to actually put your numbers on and all that sort of stuff. Okay? Now I'm going to embarrass David here right now. We're still this here. David has this graph this big. This is the perfect size for a graph. Okay? It takes up about 1/4 of the page. It's sloppy, it doesn't have a ruler, and the numbers aren't labeled, but it's the proper size. Not yet, but it's the proper size, okay? Okay, now we're going to do the asymptotes. Can someone recall from earlier in the day's lesson how I draw an asymptote? Dotted line, okay? So what I'm actually going to do, I have a wonderful tool. I'm going to use green today. So my asymptotes are going to be green. How would I draw y cannot equal 0? Yes, okay, so it's going to be like this though. Because think, these are your y values up and down. So this right here, isn't that lovely, is going to be y can't be 0. Okay, so everyone see that? You're using your y values going across. That's going to be y can't be 0. With that piece of knowledge, can someone please tell me how I would draw the next two asymptotes?
Is that on the line?
That is right on the exact line. Yeah, here and here, on the one and the negative. Okay? So I'm going to draw here again quite nicely. If you don't have a green pen, that's okay. You can just use pencil again, just label what you're doing. So this is going to be x can't be 1, and this is x can't be -1. Now the reason I'm doing this is because it helps me to visually see what I'm doing for this graph here. Okay? Do we have questions about what's happening so far? George is coming back. You guys didn't do this last year, but you saw asymptotes at least last year. Don't you feel bad for those football players right now? Oh, I do. Just saying. Okay, we're good on this. I'm gonna hit pause in the video and give you guys a second to scribble that down. The first time through we're doing here is tricky, but after we do it a few times, we really, really easy. We will make an interval chart. To see where the graph lies between the asymptotes. Okay, because here's the thing, all right? Because it can't cross, we're going to take advantage of something. Because it can't cross the y-axis, we're going to look at each of these three sections. I'm going to label these 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to say either all the points are above 0 or below 0. So from this point on, the graph's either going to look like this, or it's going to look like this. Those are the two options. Okay? On this side, the graph's either going to look like this, or it's going to look like that. That's the only two options for it. The reason for that is because it can't cross this asymptote or this asymptote. It's got to be one of those two options. In the middle, we'll talk about the middle at the end, okay? Right? But you see the problem? It's not going to cross 0, so what we're going to do is we're just going to check if the points lie above the 0 or below 0. That's what we're first going to do. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to write f of x at the top left, because that's our graph. Then we're going to write 1, x plus 1, x minus 1, and overall. Can someone please be brave, because this is the, I'll give you guys a second to scribble it down, because this is the part that stumps students every year. Can someone try and be brave and guess where the 1, the x plus 1, and the x minus 1 came from? Logan. The original equation, very good. So if you take a look, we'll go back here for a sec. If you take a look, I have a 1 in my numerator, I have an x minus 1 here, and I have an x plus 1 there. So we're all good? Those are where the three different things come from. I know you're nodding your head, but what's going to happen, Madison, people are going to freak out about this. They're going to say, where do those come from? Okay, so just so you're clear, it comes from 1, 2, and 3, that's where those come from. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my three sections of my graph. We're going to talk about domain here, which is awesome. Domain is coming back again. Okay, no one's cheering right now. That's okay, though. What would you call the section of the graph on this side? What would you call section number 1 in domain? What are the x values? Less than -1, very good. So we're going to say x is less than -1. Now, before I continue, I need people to ask questions on this. So all I did there is I looked at number 1. The section of the graph is just going to be anything less than -1 is going to be over on this side. Are we okay on that concept before I keep going? Because this is really important because people get screwed up, right? People don't achieve to their fullest potential on this. Madison.
So that is going to be in section 1, and then you would do.
Yeah, and then it'll be the same thing in section 2. What's section 2 going to be from where to where? -1 to 1. So I'm going to say -1 is less than x is less than 1. Okay. What's my third section going to be? Not all at once. What's the third section going to be? X is greater than 1. Okay, now before I continue, I'm going to assure you that me and Tiana have not discussed this question before I do this example. We've never talked about this before. All right. Okay, no matter what Tiana picks, this is going to work. I'm not a card dealer. I'm not selling you anything, but this is going to work. Tiana, can you please tell me what your favorite number less than -1 is? Yeah, your favorite number less than -1. -4 is what she chose. What these are called, I'm going to call this test points. This just has to be any number within that domain. Okay. All right, Tiana, I'm still not done. What's your favorite number between -1 and 1? I'm glad you picked 0, okay? Some people are weird and say 0.99999. It would still work if you chose that point, okay, but 0 is the easiest. And Tiana, again, what's your favorite number bigger than 1? 4. Okay, good.
Alright, pause for a sec. Tell a joke. Hit stop actually. And that